YouTube. So you can watch. The more you watch, the more you stay there, the more my status with Google is in terms of a premium YouTube guy. And I can add more and more stuff because I intend to put a lot of audios and explanations also, which need not be classes. They can be just plain videos. And after 4 years of battle, I've finally got hold of the vedicsampradaya.org domain back in my control. So you'll soon see the website up. All the scripts will be accessible to people. You can create your own account. So authenticated scripts in multiple languages and audio files, etc., will all be in one place. You don't have to go helter skelter. So that's a good news. With that, let's get started. Om Ganana Am Twa Ganapatikam Avamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspada Shinvan Nodivasi Sadanam Shmaha Ganapata Yenamaha Prano Devi Saraswati Baje Bhirvajinivati Dina Mavitrevato Maha Saraswati Namaha Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha गुरुवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः अस्मिन् गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः देवीं वाचमजनयन्त देवाः तां विश्वरूपा पशवो वदन्ति सा नो मन्द्रेषु मूर्जन्वहाना धेनुर्वागस्मानुपतिष्ठदयतु व्यासं वसिष्ठदत्तारं शक्ते पौत्रमकल्मषं पराशरात्मजं वन्दे शुकतातं तपोनिधिं व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्महृदये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः श्रीललिता महात्रिपुरसुन्दरी समेत श्रीचन्द्रमौलीश्वराय नमः काञ्ची कामकोटि पीठाधिपति जगद्गुरु श्री शंकराचार्य श्रीचरणयोः प्रणामाः स्वस्ति श्रीमदखिल भूमण्डलालङ्कार त्रयत्रिंशत्कोटि देवता सेवित श्री कामाक्षी देवी सनाथ श्रीमदेकाम्रनाथ श्री महादेवी सनाथ श्री हस्तगिरिनाथ साक्षात्कार परमाधिष्ठान सत्यव्रत नामाङ्कित काञ्ची दिव्यक्षेत्रे शारदा मठसुस्थितानाम् अतुलित सुधार समाधुर्य कमलासन कामिनी धम्मिल्ल संफुल्ल मल्लिका मालिका निश्यन्द मकरंद झरी सौवस्त्य कमांग निकुंभ विजृंभणानंद तुंदलित मनीष मंडलानाम अनवरताद्वैत विद्या विनोद रसिकानां निरंतरालंकृतीकृत शांति दांति भूम्नां सकल भुवन चक्र प्रतिष्ठापक श्री चक्र प्रतिष्ठा विख्यात यशोलंकृतानां निखिल पाषंड शंड कंठकोद्घाटनेन विशदीकृत वेद वेदांत मार्ग षण्मत प्रतिष्ठापकाचार्याणां श्रीमत् परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्यवर्य श्री जगद्गुरु श्रीमत् शंकर भगवत्पादाचार्याणाम् अधिष्ठाने सिंहासनाभिषिक्त श्रीमत् चंद्रशेखरेन्द्र सरस्वती संयमीन्द्राणाम् अधिष्ठाने सिंहासनाभिषिक्त श्रीमत् जयेन्द्र सरस्वती संयमीन्द्राणाम् अन्तेवासिवर्य श्रीमत् शंकर विजयेन्द्र सरस्वती श्रीपादानां च चरणधरणयोः सप्रश्रियं साञ्जलिबन्धं च नमस्कुर्मः शिवशक्तिसमारम्भां भास्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मत्श्रीनाथपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. So, just to get people up to speed, some have joined only this class. First class on the day of Vijayadashami, it was a formal initiation class for those who are joining new. So, I just took randomly Bhadram Karnevi for 15 minutes or 20 minutes of class. I won't go into the depth. You can watch that video if you want later. Bhadram Karnevi is a preamble to many other Upanishads and puja that we do. It is called a Shanti Mantra. In our system of Sanatana Dharma, we start with asking for peace and happiness for us and for the rest of the world. And we close with peace appeal at the end. So they are called Shanti Mantra. So Bhadram Karnevi is one of the things. Tachhayoravranimhe Gatam Jignaya Gatam Jignapataye. There's another one. So and there are many more such things. So depending on what the starting thing is, you will know which Veda the Upanishad belongs to. So Bhadram Karnevi is a Atharva Veda. This thing. Out of all the Shanti Mantras, each Veda has picked up that we will use this, we will use this, we will use this. So it's not like monopoly or anything, but they have used it. So by that itself, you can get a hint of whether what you're learning is belonging to which Veda. So one other thing I want to say, anybody who feels that they have a question, do not hesitate. There is no bad question or question that you need to be ashamed of. Right? It's not like I'm sitting here so I know everything or I have answers to everything or others know everything and you're the only one that doesn't know. Maybe by asking a question, you'll help somebody else who are shy to ask. So if you have questions, if you feel I'm going too fast and you're not able to connect, you can ask any question. No question is a dumb question. Right? So it's better that you understand what I'm saying rather than saying, okay, I'm ashamed and I don't want to ask, and then later on I don't understand what was talked about. Better that you are able to be very interactive. So Shanti mantra is that. There is something called Shanti Panchakam, which at the end of the Vaidika, this thing we do. Shanno Mitra Shamvarna. You must have heard of these things. That's all again Shanti mantra. Then a little bit more, if you do Veda Parayanam, etc., they call Shanti Ghosham. Ghosha Shanti. Ghosha means a team of Vaidikas and people who know Vedic scholars will chant loudly many more Shanti mantras. It depends on the scale of the puja. If you just do a prayer puja, you can do one Shanti mantra. If you do Ekvar Rudrabhishekam with a couple of more things, you do a little bigger. If you do Ekadash Rudrabhishekam, slightly bigger. Maharudram, slightly bigger. Atirudram, even bigger. Right? So we'll get into all those things as we get into different Rudram, Chamakam, Suktams, etc. I think I need to take a nice picture of this. I'm sorry. I'll take it later. Okay. It's a very impressive attendance today. My entire iPad is full. So Shanti is part of our life, and it is important that we keep asking for it. Then in the next class, I talked about Dhyana Shlokas. The concept that when you're trying to learn these things, you understand that there are three layers of body that we're talking about. Most people are used to just physical layer, the skin, bone, flesh, etc. Can anybody say what is that called as? No?
I missed the question, sorry.
What is this layer called as of body?
Stula.
Is that the correct answer, Anu?
Stula Shariram, yes. It's the Sukshma, sorry. That is the gross body which we are talking about.
Yeah, so what is the gross body in Sanskrit? Sthulam or Sukshma?
No, Stula.
Sthula. So Chitra's answer was correct.
Correct.
Okay, so we need to just make sure that we are confident. So this is the Sthula Shariram, which you can see, feel, etc. Sukshma Shariram is the abstract layer that you don't feel, but you need to recognize that it exists. So the third layer is called the Karana Shariram, or the causal body. Right? So anything that you talk, do, say, etc. impacts all three layers. Now, when we talk of Dhyana Shlokas, I went into the detail, which you can go to the first class YouTube, why we need to chant Dhyana Shloka. Quick summary. We are very smart people. Although we are mortal human beings, we always think we are smarter than everybody, including God. So, God, I'll give you something, please take care of me. It could be a money in the hundi, or it could be some buttering, or whatever it is, whichever way you want to characterize it. So what we say is Ganana Am Twa Ganapatikam Avamahe, because we want to appeal to Vigneshwara to say whatever I'm doing Sankalpa for, please make sure that there's no obstruction or obstacle. I want to complete what I'm planning to do. So Vigneshwara says, okay, go ahead, I'm with you. So your insurance is signed up. Next is you need to chant everything what you're chanting properly. And if you don't chant well, then there's no point in doing all the Sankalpa, and you'll not get any results. So you appeal to Vag Devata, Goddess Saraswati, in saying everything that comes out of my tongue is perfect delivery. And I think I went into a little bit of alluding to definition in detail scientifically in terms of how those aksharas are coming out of our tongue, of our mouth. It starts from the Nabhi. It's a three-step process. Very detailed explanation is given in our system. What we take for granted. Those who take anything for granted of the senses, please look at somebody who's blind or somebody who's deaf, somebody who cannot speak. You will appreciate the value of what you have got by birth. You got to preserve that. You got to be expressing thanks. So our system also teaches us that for everything you at least say thanks, because if somebody has done some good service for you, they earn 2 credits. At least you earn 1 credit by saying thanks. Because it's all running balance sheet, live balance sheet of what you think, what you do, what you perform. So bad chanting, improper chanting is called as acquisition of doshas, debit balance. So you don't want to take debit entry into your balance sheet ever. Our entire effort is all about getting positive. We also talked about that you don't get a real-time update of balance sheet. At the end of the day, God doesn't give you, oh, as of today, your balance sheet is this. Can anybody guess why? You would love to get a real-time balance sheet, no? So how am I performing as of today? But God said no. Any reason why?
Because one will start comparing with the other one and say, I am superior, I
Then
have less.
that is a good point. What else can happen with us smart human beings?
Oh, we have done enough.
Perfect. So we are smart. Oh, I have got 5,000 credit balance now. I don't have to do anything. Go to sleep, relax, do nothing. Unfortunately, the entire Srishti is run based on our actions also. We water plants, you have plants and trees, then it does something. You preserve water, it does something. You protect your air from pollution, it does something. So it's your responsibility to keep this whole cosmos or system alive, intact, the way it was given to you. So for that, everybody has to do that job. One of the tasks in the entire scheme of things is chanting. So what are we achieving by chanting? By chanting, we are producing harmonics, which are all super intelligent harmonics given on a platter to us. All we have to do is to reproduce what the original author said. Ganana twa. Just reproduce it exactly the same way. Don't say Ganana twa Ganapati Kamavame Kavim Kavinam. Doesn't work. Then loudly screaming Ganana twa Ganapati Kamavamahe. Doesn't work. So there is a specification for what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to do for various reasons, and that is what we will get into the detail today. So that harmonics is important. Why it is important? It creates vibrations, it creates energy, and internally it purifies us. It impacts your organs in your body. The most impacted is the lung, which is closest because that's where the sound is coming from, originating from. So that organ gets impacted. I think I alluded in the first class. If people think sound is something that some noise is happening, it doesn't impact me. No, it impacts you. There are sounds that you recognize, it impacts you. There are sounds that you don't know, high frequency things. You walk into that environment, pass through that, you're getting deaf because of that also. You may not be able to process and recognize in your brain, but the impact of those waves do impact your hearing capabilities. So these days I've activated an iPhone. It gives me a smart reminder of, oh, your decibel level is exceeding. Please lower your volume. We are so dependent on devices, but it is good, better than us not paying attention. So crux of all this explanation is you need to be having perfection in your chanting. So what are the things that impact our chanting? First and the foremost is akshara. Correct? Do you agree? Because that's a core element of your chanting. So when you talk of akshara, the script that I've PDF that I've shared, it talks about what are the key requirements from a akshara standpoint. So let us give an example. The Sanskrit word is Mahesh. Mahesh. You ask a Tamilian, he'll say, ah, yeah, Magesh. The Dha becomes Ga. So then we'll say, okay, at least let us maintain consistency. And I will ask him or her to say, chant Bhagavati. Yeah, Bhavati. There the Ga becomes Ha. Brahma. Somebody said, okay, no, I'm going to make it Brahma. So that H and Him became exactly the opposite. If you think that as mortal human beings, we are a little concerned and frustrated, I'll share an anecdote. Mahapariva has written one full paragraph about it, or one page about it. Technically, Sanskritam says Brahma, Ich and Ma, and it is not that Tamil doesn't have Ma. It does. But some places, Tamil decided to make it as Imha. Can anybody give me an example where it is Ihma and Imha?
Imha.
Huh?
Imha.
Correct. So Simha, Brahma, Brahma became Brahma. But when it comes to Subrahmanyam, it is Subrahmanyam. Go to Gujarati, they will say Asok Sa. They won't have Sh. So if you have to say Shambho, they will automatically say Sambho. If I say chant Pushpam, somebody will say Pushpam. That Ish is wrong. That is a Shambhosha. It is actually Pushpam. Ish. So that brings us to the first page on the PDF with the slides, 2, 3 slides. The basics of chanting. Basics of chanting, Varna or the pronunciation is important. Since most of these things are written in Sanskrit or Vaidikas, Vadhyas that learn for dedicated as a profession, they use a language called Grantham, which is even more accurate. But for most of us, Sanskrit is the best option. And if you don't know how to read Devanagari script, if you are going to use Telugu, Kannada, Tamil, you got to read that, but make your own notations to say, I am getting the pronunciation right. Right? So a couple of things I forgot. I want to go back to that. Dhyana Shlokam, we do Saraswati. The next thing is, yeah, I know how to chant. Goddess Saraswati has blessed me, but I don't know anything to chant. So then we butter the Guru. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshwara. Please make sure that the tap doesn't ever close. The tap of knowledge. And in our system, Guru Parampara has got the ultimate respect because there was no trust on CD or internet based content that you can pick up because people could have written it as a malintent. You don't know the intent of the author. So you can't pick anything random and say, I've learned from there. CD, you don't know why the CD was made, by whom. Have they been trained? Have they taught the nuances? Even if you check all these things as okay, authentic, genuine, this interaction is not possible in that. So if I teach something and you learn and you chant back, I can tell you exactly that you have got it right or wrong. That option doesn't exist in Swadhyaya. So if you're learning properly as a Vedic student, all my students are Veda classes, they are taught these things in a proper way. There's something called Taittiriya Upanishad, in which Shikshavalli, Anandavalli, Bhrigavalli, 3 sections are there. In the first section, it is all about the child or the student will come and say, I will obey the teacher. The teacher has to live long. Teacher has to be in good health. Teacher has to teach me everything. I'm committing to be maintaining the discipline. Whatever the teacher tells me, I will listen. That is all you will say in Shikshavalli. I pray for my parents' long life. That's all. There, these 6 characteristics that you see in this slide is explained in the Vedam itself. How to chant. Shruti. If you're not very attuned to Shruti, you can use the iPhone or Android Shruti. All of you to be at the same Shruti. Right? So we butter the Guru. After the Guru Parampara, we do Vandanam. Vandanam means I bow my head and express my gratitude. As I said, 2 points the Guru gets by teaching you. You need to square off by saying thank you. At least get 1 point. Don't keep it 0. There is something called Rin. Matra Rin, Pitra Rin, Guru Rin. Rin means a debt. So when your mom carries you for 9 months and delivers, you're indebted for life. She cooks food every day, serves you, indebted. Period. So when your debit is automatic posting without your knowledge from morning to evening, and debits get posted by your actions or inactions also. And inactions causing debit can be guided by Dharma Shastra. So we have to do as many things as possible to keep posting credit entries because we don't know what the debit is. You can only do that by saying, okay, I'm chanting and I have to chant it right. Only then you get the credit. Otherwise, that every chant can acquire a debit, a dosha. This whole system of dosham is that if you don't know what to do right, don't disturb. You can't say, oh, I'm chanting Vedam in my own home the way I want it. No, you may be disturbing somebody else. So there is a sense of responsibility instilled in all of these things, that you take it very seriously. A lot of discipline is important. That is not to scare you. They have also given the tools how to master to ensure you are perfect. Right. So last part is we say Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, and then Vyasam Vasishtam Avtaram. I said Sri Guru Bhyo Namaha. That is called Swasti. I forgot to tell in the morning class, but I hope they also watch this video. Swasti has got different connotations in different contexts. In this context, it is, I have taught the Kanchipuram, Kanchi Matham Swasti, which is, that Swasti is specific to an ashrama. There could be a Swasti for Sringeri that I will teach later, but each ashramam has got different Swasti, because you're expressing your gratitude to the Guru Parampara of that Matham, starting from Adi Shankaracharya. If you didn't hear it properly, Parivrajakaacharya Varya Sri Jagadguru Srimad Shankara Bhagavat Padacharya Nam. That was the first thing that I said. Parivrajaka Acharya means Acharya that is always mobile. In today's world, I'm Sadhguru. I'm sitting in a massive complex in Bangalore or Chennai. World over, people come to me. Exactly the opposite of what was happening in those days. Adi Shankaracharya lived for 32 years, born in Kaladi, Kerala. He traversed the entire depth and breadth of India, established mathams, which are institutions, which we are still proud of. That's a source of Vedic knowledge. And the amount of compositions he has written, even if you live for 320 years, you will not have done that. I'm going to teach many of what he has written. Composed. Subramanya Bhujangam, Kanakadara, everything is all written by him. Right? Shanti Panchakam. Plenty of things. Matruka Panchakam. Again, all of you ladies should learn how to chant that. You will cry when you chant it.
Highly emotional.
Yeah. So when we have the treasure of all these things, it's the least we can do is to say, okay, tell me what I have to do, I will follow it. No experimentation, no innovation, freedom of choice, freedom of expression. Those rules don't apply here. So having now known all that stuff, we will get down to what are the elements of perfect chanting. So Akshara. Akshara means basically you have a, I, U, A, the entire set of vowels. Then you have consonants. It's a 5x5 matrix, basically. Ka, cha, ta, ta, pa, ya. Ka varga, cha varga, ta, ta varga, pa varga. Varga means row. So ka, kha, ga, gha, nga. It's one varga, one row. Nga, which is the fifth column, is also represented as a dot called Anuswara in a script. Got it? We'll get into those details in every class. As we go learning, I will keep on repeating some of these things so you don't have to stress out. Oh, he's giving me so much of information. I don't know how much I'm going to remember. Don't stress. You have the YouTube, you can play over and over again. You have the script. In addition, if you want to learn how to pronounce Sanskrit Akshara, there is a 9 weeks of YouTube videos that are out there in my channel. You can go and do that. I will share the script of the Sanskrit Aksharas and vowels. Then the last varga is Yaralava Shashasasaha. So when you have Anuswara followed by anything from Yaralava, it has to be pronounced as So sa dot ya is sanya. A nasal sound comes in. Sanya. It's not samya, it is not sanya. Whereas if you have sham followed by cha, it is a cha varga that follows. So it will be either shamchame or shanchame. Either one is correct. Got it? So I told you only 2 rules. Since you have to chant it the Sanskrit way, you have to learn only 5,500 rules. Not much. And we came to 5,500 because Sanskrit existed as a language. People learned it, people practiced it. And in those days, there was no PDF, no laptop, no iPad, nothing. It's all like, I will tell and you have to repeat. I will tell you have to repeat, you have to memorize. That is why that students will always learn like this. Usha will be the best expert to say why this motion is important. You have to rote, memorize. This is important. Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya, Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya, Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. I'm literally programming it. There are reasons why it is done, because you cannot afford to have the distraction of reading, losing the momentum. Then you're going to acquire papam while commencing to chant something. It has to be coming subconsciously. Even in my sleep, somebody kicks and says, chant Rudram, I must say, Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. And for those of you who don't know what that speed means, variation means, you should have watched my 60th Sashtapurti event. If you missed it, it is still available on YouTube. See how the Vadyars scaled up and scaled down the speed depending on the time. But not by committing any mistake. They never make even a single mistake at that speed. That shows that element of level of practice. We'll come to the level of practice those people do shortly. Back again. Akshara, you have to say ka has to be pronounced as ka. Kha has to be pronounced as kha. You must have heard many a times Tamilian asking another Maharashtrian or a Gujarati, Kana kaya? Harshaji is laughing. Yeah, I've heard that many a times. What stops the Tamilian learning Khana khaya kya aapne? Right? So those natural issues that we have, which we have grown up with, need to be unlearned, and you have to learn what is required here and chant it. When somebody says, oh, this is too much, I'll give an example of 2014 when we decided to do a Sahasra Chandi in Toronto under our ashramam. We had 2.5 months lead time. I took 2 or 3 vans of people from New Jersey all the way to Toronto. We drove up. Imagine 40 people coming, and I'm the only person qualified to sit in the home. How pathetic it is. Right? Everybody else will be sitting in the gallery. No role except watching. That itself is a divine blessing, but still. So people said, hey, can we do something? I said, I am prepared to teach you provided you are willing to commit. Guess what? 8 ladies. Average age was 59, 60. Committed that we will learn. They don't know even Akshara of Devanagari. They've never pronounced. 700 shlokas. I taught them Akshara by Akshara. Ka for kadi, ta for tat, ta for tomato. Devi Mahatmyam, Chandi part was learned by them in 2.5 months. They were ready, qualified to chant there. My gurus, as soon as we reached Toronto, I said this, make them sit as Ritviks. So instead of being in the spectator, they participated in the first ever Sahasra Chandi that we arranged. Those 6 ladies were proud Ritviks. So hard work will pay dividends and results. Don't lose your heart. I'm here to teach. I don't judge anybody. I don't lose hope. So you have to put in the hard work. So after the Akshara, there are certain things called Visarga, Avagraha, Anuswara, Anunasika. I'll explain one by one each of those things. Visarga is the colon, 2 dots. Anybody can give an example of the most common word that you know?
Namaha.
Beautiful. Namaha, the colon is ha, Namaha. In Sanskrit, the most lowest form of an akshara is in, which means in with the line at the bottom. Ik, ka with the line at the bottom, pa with the line at the bottom. That means it is that ip when it is added by a vowel like a becomes pa. If it is added with a vowel a, it becomes pa. So by itself, it is only ip, it, etc. Got it? So it's one of the most comprehensive and scientific language where you have the definition of how each akshara has to be pronounced. It says roll your tongue up, start delivering from here, create the sound from here and deliver it like this. That's how precise this language is, which is why it is getting recognized by the IT industry as the most perfect language for computers, right? So when so much of information is available, so many rules are available, for generations people have followed it, we are no exception. We have to just follow that. As a language, it was existing. Geniuses like Panini, the great Panini, reverse engineered that language, codified it for us, and saying, by the way, if you don't know how this thing works, these are the 5,500 rules you need to learn. So we don't want to be Sanskrit experts. We picked up rules or sandhi for Visarga. There are 85 of them out of the 5,500. I taught only 16 of them based on an 80-20 rule. If you learn those 16, 80% of the things you will learn. It took 9 weeks to just teach once. What I'm saying here is, if you are doing independent pada, you will say it as namaha. If namaha is followed by astu, when I'm teaching it, I'll say namaha. You'll say namaha, 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 astu, astu, astu. But when I have to chant it together. I don't say namaha astu. It becomes namostu. No, not namo astu. Namostu. Just hear very clearly what I'm saying. So the way it is done is aha followed by a is replaced by o. So im plus o becomes mo, namo. And we dropped visarga and a. Two aksharas we are substituting. But we are adding only one o. So you can't affect the meter. Meter is the talam. So it is filled with a avagraha. Avagraha is a letter S. So the reason it is put there is because you give that much of time or matra to ensure you don't disrupt the meter. Namostu. So don't chant it as Namo Astu or Nama Astu or Namaha Astu. All of them are wrong. It is
How do you decide to put an O there? Like Namaha and Astu, you're saying Namostu. So O, how do you decide to put an O when you're dropping a and aha? I mean, there must be some rule.
That's what I said, no, just now. 85 rules.
Okay, so I'll basically need to go and check by that.
I've got a script. I will put that in the group also next time.
Okay.
The 16 rules that I taught, it is there. But don't panic. Blindly, you can apply this rule if you don't know anything, which is, I think Harshaji and Mukeshji should be able to answer this question. I've got the word Namaha followed by Shivaya. How do you chant? Correct. So the rule is half of the following letter. Shivaya, so ish. Bhuvaha followed by Suvaha, it is Bhuvas Suvaha. Very easy, no? So the moment you get something easy, I'll share something more complicated. Bhuhu followed by Bhuvaha, the rule is ir. Visarga substituted by ir. So it becomes Bhur, Bhuvas Suvaha. No, again, Suvaha plus iti. Suvaha plus om, sorry. Bhur, Bhuvas, Suvaha, om. So after the Visarga, om. There, the rule is ir. That is why you say Bhur, Bhuvas, Suvarom. Ir plus o becomes ro. Suvarom. So Bhur, Bhuvas, Suvarom. Im plus iti becomes miti. So it becomes Bhur, Bhuvas, Suvarom iti digbandha. Got it? So if I have to teach you, I have to say Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, Om iti digbandha. But when you have learned how to chant those aksharas, you have to merge, you have to apply those rules. It's a very essential component. Learn, pay attention when I'm teaching to catch exactly at that point what has to be said. And that's why YouTube is available. Go back and revise. So we spend a lot of time on Visarga. Anuswara is a dot, as I said. Anybody can give an example of a word of Anuswara? Agna Vishnu Sajosha Dema Vardhanta Vangiraha. No? Vam. The dot on top of Va is Anuswara. That is what I explained a little earlier. You can either say it as vam or van, depending on what is followed after va. If it is
Samshayaha or samshaya.
Saunshaya is because of Yaralava Shasha.
Shasha, yes.
After Anuswara it is Sha, so it becomes Saunshaya.
Samshaya.
Most people will say Samshaya. And that is reflected in the Swasti of Kanchi that I chanted. If you noticed, I chanted as Sanyamindranam. In Tamil script, if you read it, they would have written it as Samyamindranam. Huge disagreement for me. So Anuswara need to be applying, you need to apply those rules for Anuswara. Next is Anunasika. In Anunasika, there is a Chandrabindu. Who There is a Chandrabindu. Chandrabindu means there is a semicircle and a dot on top instead of just a plain dot. That means the sound has to come from the nose completely. Can anybody give example of Devi Mahatmyam? What is the word? We have been stressing on that word over and over and over again. So you should be able to answer that question.
Om. Om.
No?
Om.
That's not the main word that we stress on. You remember the word Bhavan Lubdhai? Bhavan Lubdhai. Now Chitra is smiling. Colloquial term. Most of you have used that term. Can you give one example of Chandrabindu or Anunasika? No? Aakho. Correct? I. You write ah.
Oh, I thought you're talking from the text. Otherwise, we have chand also. Chand also is some.
Yeah.
Chand also you write chand like Chandrabindu and the. Like gaon.
Gaon, absolutely correct. Pao, everything is ow. So that is Anunasika. The next two words that you see there, Dirga and Hrasva, is not that difficult. A is Hrasva, short, one matra, one blink of an eye or one tap of a finger. You need to spend twice the time of a. That is Dirgam. Dirgam means elongated, longer, etc. So one matra, two matra. We will find out, I think we talked about it in the first class, why we don't say it in nanoseconds or seconds. Instead, we use blink of an eye or tap of a finger for a reason. So, Dirga and Hrasva is clear. Pa, Hrasvam, Pa, Dirgam. Pu, Hrasvam, Pu, Dirgam. Right? Any particular specific word in Devi Mahatmyam that we all make a mess out of from Dirgam to Hrasvam? Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu. Or Namaste Rudra Rupinyai. Rupinyai. Ru. It is not Ru. Ru. So you'll have to pay attention to Dirgam and Hrasvam there. So that is as far as Aksharas are concerned. And don't panic. I'm going to repeat these things as I teach those slokas or suktams. I will keep repeating some of these things. But this is the foundation for you. Swara. If you see the script that I posted in the group as a screenshot, or if you open the document that is there as a PDF in this class, you will see notations. There is an underline below some aksharas. There is nothing for some aksharas. There is something vertical line for aksharas. There are two vertical lines for aksharas. So since we are learning Krishna Yajurvedam, we have basically four swaras. Basic. There are more, but basically four. Underline is Anudata. No notation is Udata. Vertical line is Swarita. Right? So if I say Om Gananam, so Ga was underline means my note has to go down. Ga, Gana, Rana is Udata. Baseline, your base note, that is a frequency. Guys, underline. Gana, la. La is Anudata, La is Udata. Gananam Dirgha Swarita. Na. Can anybody give another example of Dirgha Swarita that we all are familiar with? Huh?
Swaha.
Correct. Swaha. That is a Dirgha Swarita on top of Ha. Remember, the Swara is for one Akshara only. So, most people you will see when you start chanting back, you will either apply the Swara of the next Akshara to the previous Akshara by habit because you are in a panic mode, you're in a rush mode. You'll have to imagine it like a zigzag rectangular line or a graph. For one swara, it goes down, one again goes up, down, etc. Like a waveform which is at right angles, not a curve. You cannot apply a average swara for two aksharas. It is crisp. For each akshara, that swara has to be hit properly. Okay. So, Dirgha Swarita is also called as Nigadha. Not so popular name, but it is a technical name. Matra, we talked about Ardha, Hraswa, Dirgha, Pluta. We'll come to Pluta late. Ardha is half. I'm just trying to become technical here. If you can understand, good. Otherwise, ignore this. When you chant Namaha, I said Na one akshara matra, Ma one matra, Ha. I have always taught as one matra to keep it simple. Namaha. If you want to wear a very detailed technical hat, that Ha is only half matra. So you are not supposed to say or chant as Namaha. It is Namaha, Namaha, Ha, half. Got it? So when I keep on talking about matras, you need to get used to that. Om Namo, Na one more to Bhagava 111 Te to Ru 1 Dra to Ya 1. So imagine how your chanting has to go. Right? That knowledge has to be gathered. Yeah. Mukesh bhai, you have a question? I can't hear you. Maybe you have to unmute yourself or nope. Can anybody hear what he's saying?
No.
Yeah, your mic audio setting has to be changed probably. So I'll continue. When you're ready, just say it. I'll revisit it. Balam, Alpa Prana, Mahaprana. Can anybody share what they know about this?
And bha is like
Any hard consonant.
Alpa Prana.
Bha, Gha, Dha.
Mahaprana.
Correct. Those are Mahaprana. Your sound has to come from the Nabhi. So if you don't see your belly going in and out like Baba Ramdev, then you're not chanting it right. Maha. How many of you have chanted that way? Maha. You'll say, Mahabharatam, Mahabharatam, Mahabharatam. Ha will become A without your knowledge. Technically, you're supposed to say Mahalakshmi, Maha Bharatam, Dhanam, Dhanyam, Bahuputra Labham, Shatasamvatsaram, Dirghamayu. Got it? So, one more point. This session is all about scaring you so much that you will never dare to make a mistake. There is a shloka in Devi Mahatmyam where people used to forget one ir. That rule of aha becomes ir. I told you, right? They forgot. And that shloka is all about wishing good for wives to be chanted by husbands. Bharya. You miss that ir. Instead of asking for everything good for the wife, you're asking for the destruction of wife. So imagine you're chanting every day, Devi Mahatmyam, God, please destroy my wife, please destroy my wife. God will say, thank you so much. I'll bless you with all your wishes. Huh? And same thing in Chamakam, many places. Chamakam is full of Gimme, 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 gimme. So if you want to know how selfish we are, we'll praise Lord Rudra and please him with 11 Anvakas of Rudram only. Only 11 Anvakas. Immediately you say, oh, I've done a great job. Now let me ask you everything under the sky. Imagine 11 Anvakas of Chame, 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 Chame. Give me money, give me health, give me car, give me everything. You have not left anything to ask. But if you don't know what you're asking, if you make fundamental mistakes, you may be asking for trouble. That is why these things are very, very important. So Balam, we learned Sama is continuity. You can't just afford to take, I'm tired, I can't continue the breath, this is too long, I'll take a pause wherever I want. Does not work. You have to chant it the way it has been originally prescribed. Whatever is required to achieve that, you have to work hard. Case in point, those of you who are learning from me for many years, you know how many years I struggled with allergy. I had to work on it to make sure that allergy doesn't impact my chanting. It is our duty and responsibility to do it. You can't give excuses. Santana, which is punctuation. Wherever there are pauses, you have to pause at that place instead of just continuously chanting something. Any questions so far? I know it is very intense technical, but it is important. Am I going too fast? Too much information? You want me to slow down? Padmaji said too much. Yeah, Rekhaji, go ahead. Unmute yourself if you're speaking. I can't hear you. You're cutting in and out.
Voice is totally breaking.
Very feeble.
Now,
Much better.
I said I couldn't understand a thing, but then happy to be in the class.
Good.
Whatever I could.
We need such students also to keep me on my toes. No, as I said, don't panic. It is important that I have to cover this in one class instead of 10 classes. But you have the YouTube, you can go back, take notes, you have the script. And I'm going to repeat many of these things as I teach. But at least you will know when I'm saying something here, the matra is so much. What is matra? Go back to the first class instead of making me repeat it every class. That's the whole idea, right? Yeah. Don't worry about it. I'm here to teach and make sure that all of you understand. I'm not going to leave even one person. It's like the military rule. You don't leave a single person behind, right? So let's go to the next part. Vedic recitation. There are 11 rules, 11 forms or methods of chanting. The first three are Prakriti. Prakriti means, can somebody explain the meaning, what it is?
Nature,
So natural. Samhita Patha, which is continuous recitation. Full rik, full sentence, also called full pada, is Samhita. All what we are learning and chanting, we mortal human beings will be only Samhita. So when I'm chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya Namaste Rudramanyavoto Deshave Namaha, this is Samhita Patha. Om Ganana Am Tva Ganapatikam Avamahe Samhita Patha. So let us see the example that is given there. Om Ishavasya Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagate. It is Samhita Patha. The same thing if I have to chant it in Pada Patha. Pada means word. Word for word recitation. They have given the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you will see the slight change or difference there. Isha is one word. Vasyam is the second word. Idam is the third. So Vasyam im plus e becomes me when you combine. When you separate it, it becomes Vasyam idam. Is that clear? Chitra is so tired, yawning after yawning after yawning. I know it is tough. I know it is boring, but I can't help it. So Vasyam idam, that is Padam. Sarvam, if you see the numbers on top of it, you don't have to understand the meaning of it. Just know that these are different words. The next method of chanting is called Kramapatha. Words recited in pairs. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 kind of thing, right? So the same rik or padaha, if we take and apply the krama patha, it will be 1 plus 2, which is Ishavasyam. Then you will say Vasyamidam, Idagam Sarvam, Sarvam Yat Yatkincha. So if I'm chanting in the Samhita Patha style, I will say Ishavasyamidam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagate. If I'm chanting by Pada Patha, I will say Ishavasyam Idam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagate. Anybody can give an example of where you're used to this Pada Patha? When Vadyar sits with you to give you Sankalpam, when Vadyar comes to my house, he will chant with me. Omapata Samasya Shadwara Shri Parameshwar Prithitham Shubhe Shobhane Murti Adya Brahma Diti Varate Shvedavara Kalpe Vaiva Sudhamanatari Ashtavim Chitime Kaliyuge Prathame Pade Kronchati Veramana Varshendra Gande Meroho. But if those who are not used to this, they can't chant it at the speed with the Vadyars. So they will say Mamopata, you will repeat after the Mamopata, Samasta, Samasta, Durita, Durita, Kshayadvara, Kshayadvara. It is called Padabhedam. Bhedam means you're splitting the word into two. But it has to be logical. Otherwise, for those of you who understand Tamil, the very popular example, Sukumo Lagumi Tipili. It shouldn't be split that way. Harshaji is just an inappropriate word of way of splitting the words. You don't have to worry about what that word is. The meaning itself is irrelevant, right? You don't want to chop like that. So from Kramapatha, the next other 8 are Vikruti, artificial, unnatural, whatever terminology you want to say. First of the 8 is Jatha. Jatha means the way you chant is 1 2 2 1 1 2, then 2 3 3 2 2 3, 3 4 4 3 3 4. Which means you take the same example of Isha Vasyamidam. Can anybody make an attempt how to chant that in Jata? No?
Will it be like Isha, Asya, Was, again Isha?
Isha Vasyam.
Correct. You got it. Not that difficult. So Isha Vasyam Vasyam Isha Isha Vasyam. That is the Jata form of recitation. Same way, Mala. 1 2 2 1 1 2 2 3 3 2. So Isha Vasyam Vasyam Isha Isha Vasyam Vasyam Midam. Mala. That way you have Shikha, Rekha, Dhwaja, Danda, Ratha, and the last one is Ghana.
So these are basically creating a certain kind of vibration. That is what
Not meant for vibration. These are into the classroom. These are all meant for classroom learning.
Okay.
So I chanted Om Ganana Am Tva Ganapatikam Avamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Samitapata. Same thing. Om Ganana Am Tva Tva Ganana Am Tva Ganapatikam Tva Havamahe Ganapatikam Havamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamashravastamam. This is Ganapata. The same thing. Applying that rule 1 2 2 1 1 2 3 3 2 1 1 2 3. Sounds very complicated, right?
No, what I'm asking is when you have these different types of chanting, does it mean that it has a certain rhythmic, right? So does it mean that it's done for certain reason why it is
In the Vaidikas that come to your home as Panditji, they go through 16 years of rigorous learning. This is their learning process. The entire Vedam, they must be able to chant in any of this style, memorized. But not everybody goes to the post-graduation level. Ganapata is a post-graduation. So that is why those who have done post-graduation, you call them as Ganapatigal. You don't call everybody as a Ganapatigal. Those who have gone up to that level. Some will be stopping at Dwaja or Rekha and then saying, okay, thank you so much, I have studied enough. Got it? So if you do Ekadasa Rudrabhishekam, you follow a Rudra Krama Archana. Same Rudram in a Krama form, we will do Archana. Many places, if you do Ashirvadam, you will see all four Vedas, all the Vedikas, one by one, each Veda will chant the Ganam. Typically, all Ashirvadams are done that way. Shadamanam bhavati shataja purusha shatendriya ayushevendriye pratitishthati samhita patha. Ghanam will be Shadamanam, Shadamanam, Bhavati Bhavati Shatamanam, Bhavati Shataji Purushash Shatendriya Shatendriya. If you think these are all very complex, I will give you a motivational data point. Kids who are from average 11 or 9 years of age to 13 years of age are learning from me. 5 of them have already learned 10 Ghanams, Yajur Ghanams. They chant memorized with perfection. And they have learned 3 Anuvakas of Rudram in Ghanam format.
I heard that actually. You sent that.
I've shared the audio also. But if you want a live, I can ask them to do it. Saturday morning class, I can make them do it. Kids studying in the US, growing up in the US, some are born in the US. So it's all doable. As much as it is scary, the bottom line is these are all doable. Now, if you think this is the end of the world, the beauty is there is something called Salakshana Ganabhadigal, which is PhD level and postdoc level. What is the difference between Ganapatha and Salakshana Ganabhadigal? I chanted the Samhita saying, Prano Devi Saraswati Vaje Bharvajanivati. Such a small trick. It took me 5-6 seconds, 8 seconds. In the Salakshana Ganaphatam style, that same thing will be chanted for 3.5 to 4 minutes. So what do? Prano is broken into ip plus ir plus o. For each of that akshara, ip plus ir plus o, they will describe 6 attributes. Matra, swara, balam, adidevata, pratyadidevata, vahana devata. They will describe it and go. Are you getting what I'm saying? So what I'm chanting effortlessly, Prano Devi Saraswati, they will do at that speed, at that level, memorized without forgetting anything. Now, if you think that is complex, you get a Salakshana Ganapadigal certificate only if you're able to do the same thing in reverse too. Got it? All you need to understand is you're not expected to chant in Ghana style or Krama style ever. The boys had a passion, they asked for it, I taught them. You are not required to learn at that level. All I wanted you to understand and impress, the purpose of 1 hour of scaring you is don't take chanting lightly. This is what I can do, this is how I can do it. It is okay. No, you're acquiring doshas if you're chanting it wrong. Put every effort to get it right. There are probably hundreds of students who have learned from me. There are people who have learned for 6 years, 10 years. They still come back, ask for doubts. I clarify, I help them. So help is available. It is up to you to take that help and make sure that you're chanting it right.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So when we practice, we bound to make errors. So that is not error included in errors, but when we make a sankalpam and chant it, that is counted as error.
Yeah, when there are people who come and ask me, can you come and do puja at my home? Yes, because people will fall at my feet. Guruji, all luxury. Comes with the price. It comes with the responsibility. But when I'm teaching you or you are learning, you are chanting, you are going to make mistakes. That is not covered under the dosha category. If that was your question.
So when I make a sankalpam and learn correctly and make a sankalpam and chant, that will count towards debit.
Yeah. But do you remember I started the class that we are the smartest. We are smarter than the creator. Can you tell me why I am saying this after all 1 hour of scare?
think we
No,
have.
There you go. You see, she has been with me for 6 years, so she knows exactly what I'm talking about. We are super smart people. We are not going to give it up that easily. So we added aparadha sahastrani kriyante harnisham maya. If you don't know how the full aparadha stostram, you can say mantrahinam, kriyahinam, bhaktihinam, avahanam, najanami, pujanam, najanami, visarjanam. Everything, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. Oh, by the way, when I did the Aparadha Sastra also, I made a mistake. So please forgive me for that mistake in Aparadha Sastram also. We are that selfish. So that is only a insurance cover that you don't have to panic and enter the world scenario, but that doesn't give you a freedom to say, okay, I'll make all the mistakes anyway. I've got Aparadha Sastra. It's the attitude that matters, right? Have you, any of you heard or seen, there are mantras in Vedas by which you can make rain move? Have you heard?
Yeah. I haven't heard the mantras, but I have heard that you have. That's where you can actually have like Deepak Rag, where you can
No.
It will bring rain. We have
Bring rain is one thing. I'm talking of moving rain.
No.
I'm in Plainsboro. If it's raining heavily in Plainsboro, I can start chanting it and moving the mantra, moving the rain out of my city. All these years, I had only heard of that. I know the mantras. I know how to chant. We had participated in Atirudram in Maryland in Bhaktanjanaya temple. It was the scariest downpour of rain at about 8:15 when everybody was about to go home, dinner. There was a lot of things, kids alone at home, etc., etc., etc. Nobody knew what to do. We couldn't even open the door. It felt like the tent, everything is going to fall apart. All of a sudden, all those Vaidikas, I was part of those 123 Vaidikas. Blessed and truly lucky to be part of that. 12, 15 Vaidikas got to the stage, took the mic, started chanting that non-stop. In 20 minutes, the rain stopped and moved. This has been taught by Mahabharata himself to many Vaidikas in India. That is where they have learned. If you're interested, I can teach you then. Huh?
It was a very great event, actually.
Exactly.
So,
you were there at that event. So you remember, no? Vaidyaras took the mic and started chanting. So I'm not cooking up stories. Thank God, I've got witnesses here. otherwise, the risk of sharing these things is, अरे यार बहुत पुड़ी छोड़ता है आदमी एकदम बैठे बैठे ऐसा थोड़ी होता है, you know. We are as optimistic, we will become pessimistic also. So I think we have covered a lot here. Next class, we will probably just quickly recap the Swaras, which is another document. I'm going to share the audio file of the Swaras audio file. So you can hear certain things and get used to it. Learn, go back to the YouTube video, watch it. And again, don't panic. Oh, there is so much. And some people may say, I made a mistake by signing up for this class. No, I'm here with you to walk you, each one of you, to that level. Okay. So the 5 kids which I'm proud of today, one of the kid actually cried for 1 hour 15 minutes in my class because he felt his mom is torturing him. He was getting tortured between me and his mom. His mom was sitting right behind him. Mom also started crying. I said, no, you're not getting up from there. So while I taught the rest of the class, the next class also people came and sat there. This guy was like, he was almost getting a choking attack. I said, nothing. No, you do all the stunt, nothing is going to happen. 1 hour, 10 minutes, he cried. He saw nothing was happening. The other students, they learned many things, they left. I said, you lost. And if you thought that by crying you're going to negotiate or put me under pressure, no way. You have no option but to learn. I understand. I understand. I said, no, stop the drama right now. Take a sankalpam, you'll never do this again. He literally took the sankalpam. Ramswamy, you know whom I'm talking about. I think he was also there watching that event live. He took a sankalpam. Today is one of the best chanters. So point is, it's all about attitude. You have to have that guts to say, I can do it, I will do it, as long as there is help. Okay. So we have begun the journey. Whatever you patiently heard for 1 hour, you will see the benefits of that as you learn more and more things. Okay. Perfection matters. People who chant better, they understand. Many of the people in this class, they are witness or their testimony to that. Anu Madluri or Padma Tata, all of them, they all have gone through their piece of struggle, but they are chanting pretty well now. So have faith. I'm here to support and let us enjoy this journey. Rekha ji, we will remember this day. All of us will remember your comment. And after 6 months, when you chant well, I'll get Neelakantha to say, okay, my wife was jumping the gun. Yeah. All right. So, Mukesh ji, in case you are able to. Sorry, ma?
Rekha has my company also. And she will, how ignorant I am about that business.
No, trust me. Don't panic at all. Enjoy the journey. It may be a little tough, pressure, hard work, etc. But you'll see the graphs, the curve bending itself nicely. It all depends on your commitment.
Sure.
Okay. Great. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Shiva with us, they will definitely do that.
Yeah. So those of you who have some questions, you can stay back. Those of you who are okay, you can sign off. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Kumar.
Sure. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Kumar.
Bye.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you.
Thank you.